Welcome back to the Life and Times podcast. I'm your host, Lloyd Phillips.
And I'm your co-host, Leighton Rowan.
Yeah, we're back. For those of you who are like, oh my gosh, what's going on? You're very sporadic. Our studio flooded again.
Yeah.
Twice.
And hurricane-type winds.
Yeah,
So.
hurricane-type winds, total flood.
Yeah.
And then, there's just stuff that was... Life goes on, and then you forget stuff, when your podcast studio floods second time. Having said that, it was WWE came to town. Now, I realize this is a month ago, but nobody's heard these stories. So, and they're not even like stories to tell. Now, you're a fan, though. Like Leighton's he's a WWE fan.
Well, I grew up watching it. And it's more like sentimental to me because I watched it with my grandpa, and I don't currently watch it. I'm not like a WWE nerd.
I grew up watching WWF, the real one.
Me too.
Yeah,
it wasn't WWE when Stone Cold and Hulk Hogan and Sting, and it was still WCW.
That's a different one.
WWE, and what was the more hardcore one?
Well, it was WWE or WWF.
WWF. The hardcore one. I can't remember the name.
ACW or something like
ECW.
ECW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was still those.
So anyway, so here's the thing. I go to this thing, and for those of you that don't know, after we went to watch this, here's the backstory. We went to watch that, which we had a podcast about, watching the wrestling. My cousin did it in Tahlequah, America, and from that time forward, my daughter started watching wrestling. I'm not sure what inspired her about that evening to be like, I want to do that, because she's watching that in Tahlequah. It'd be one thing to show up at a real event. So anyway, so she wants to go, and I was like, yeah, all right, let's do it. I feel like I should take her. She watches it on YouTube all the time. And so I got the tickets. And now Leighton didn't go to this one. I thought I had 4, and it was one of those YouTubes or one of those scams.
Yeah.
And so it turns out, because I contacted on Craigslist. I got on Craigslist and it saw 4 tickets, and somebody had them. It said in Bixby. And then when you call the number, it was a Northern California number. And then it was just through text. Like, they didn't answer. They would just be like, hey, when do you want to send them? Whatever. When do you want to get the tickets? It was like a scam.
Yeah.
So on to the show. So have you been to those events before?
Yeah, I've been to a couple.
Yeah. So it was the first one that I had been to. I ended up just getting on Ticketmaster, and I got the tickets. Well, the tickets I ordered, I wasn't going to spend the money to sit on the front row because I don't watch the show, and I didn't think it was worth $800, to be honest.
No.
I actually did it after the fact, seeing who wrestled, because I don't watch it. I knew probably 4. I've heard of 4 people. I knew who 3 of them actually were. I've heard of like a couple of the other guys.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have been worth it to me, but maybe it would have to her. So I picked an aisle seat. Well, when I get there, I'm fairly close to the ring, but I am on the furthest seating section. Oh, I'm basically sitting backstage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's all curtained up, so you
Yeah.
actually can't see anybody backstage.
Yep.
And that's essentially where I'm sitting. I'm on the aisle. And so when the guys come out for their grand entrance, which you'd think would be cool if you're sitting out and you're watching it all out there, I can't see the guys until they walk past the beams and the light tower racks.
Yeah.
I can't see them until they're halfway to the ring.
Yeah.
And then people are standing up, so you can't really see them. I can see them when they enter the ring.
Yeah.
And that's where I sit. And I hate that we haven't done a podcast in a while because I'm trying to draw this from like a month ago. And I skipped the main part. So what I thought was, when I walked in, I thought I was going to see a bunch of crazy people. That's what I thought people would be dressed up like wrestlers and that kind of thing. I actually didn't see that as much as I thought. I did see some nerds that were dressed up like they were major celebrities carrying championship belts around.
Yeah, you see super fans for sure.
But I don't know how many people were at the show. Let's just go 10,000 for the sake of this. It was packed for the seats that were available.
Yeah.
They cut off one what do you call it? One end of the arena is, and it's a circular arena. They cut off one end So about 75% of the arena is available.
Yeah.
Every seat was packed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people. So having said all that, there was probably 2,000 championship belts people were carrying around.
Yeah.
And I don't get it because you look like you're like the other 1,999 people at Cool Belt. You Cool Belt.
Yeah.
It's the same belt.
Yeah.
Like some probably made their own, but I thought that was a little nerdy.
There's different levels to the belts too.
Well, these were all low-level belts because none of them wrestled.
True. But
For all I know.
But you can get the like the you know how like NFL official, it'd be like the WWE official quote unquote replica of the belt, or you can just get like a funky one from Walmart or something.
Which I've done.
Yeah.
It's a little known fact that I'm a Monopoly champion and a Risk champion, board games, and so the championship belt that got passed around back in the day when we would do it was WWE or F back then. I don't know, probably an F back then, and and then we got an engraver and we just wrote Monopoly or Risk because the bottom part of it is that section where you put your name. Yeah, we just used like a Dremel tool or whatever and wrote Monopoly and Risk.
Yeah, you cheat at Risk though, so I
And
don't know why you got
and
that
I'm
belt.
still the champ. Well, that's not true. Well, you say you play Risk, which is funny because me and Leighton have played Risk with our buddy John. You know, it depends who John is that day, but so like, so we play Risk, and I don't know what, just one day we played it.
Yeah.
I don't have I lost?
Well,
I don't think I've lost.
we played one game.
Oh, well, I'm the champ.
Yeah.
I might as well start wearing that belt around.
Yeah, you might as well.
That's what I'm saying. And it was absolute annihilation.
It was close.
I didn't recall it being that close.
Well, we had a truce and you double crossed me.
No,
and went behind my back.
Here's the thing,
so.
people. I'm on a different level in that game. I've downloaded it before. I have what are they? Extra rare characters? What is that? What they are? I got special characters.
No, you didn't earn the special characters.
When you are as strategic as I am at Risk, I got special dice, special players, special art. Like it was just a slaughter out there.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. You said I didn't earn them?
No,
I don't. I mean, I won.
but you didn't earn the rarity items that you got. You just entered in your credit card number.
Is that how that?
Yeah, you just
that how I did
just
that?
got exposed
Oh. For all of it?
for all of it.
Oh, I probably had some
Yeah.
some extra characters from some of my other trials. Anyway, but that's the thing. With the phone, like it's still okay. Like it's still fun. To sit there. I way prefer board games.
Yeah. I mean, the
way
board
more.
game is a more intimate setting.
Yeah. So I accidentally took that off into left field, but so I did notice just one crazy family and they sat right in front of me.
Yeah.
But back to the WWE.
Yeah, but those are the people that you like to watch.
Those people 100% watch it because now it's on regular TV, right?
Yeah.
100% those people watch it every time it's on. And that's a fact because they were legitimately mad. I mean, mad. Okay, let me say this for anybody. So I didn't know anybody there outside of three people. I did say that. I saw Triple H, which I thought was awesome, who's the president now. And so he didn't really do anything, but it was Triple H, which was cool because he used to wrestle when we would have those Monday night Raw parties, when I was in high school. And then Rey Mysterio also wrestled back then, so that was cool to see Rey Mysterio. He's not very tall at all. And then John Cena. I don't recall ever really being a wrestling fan while he was doing it, but he was essentially his day, maybe with The Rock back and forth, but essentially he was like the Hulk Hogan of his time, right? So
Yes,
so
yes.
that was kind of cool to see. And then it was like a big production where he ran out at the end of the show and I hammered some guy, jumped out of the ring, and his friend won. It was like that, and that's how they ended the show. So what I didn't know is the show was live, and it's live.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a delay just in case something happens, like a small one, but it was live. It started when it started, and it came on just like a TV show would. There was nothing. There was no pre-game. An announcer walked out previous, and people clapped because they knew who he was. And then at 7, the show started. Just like it was, you turned it on.
Yep, that's exactly how it was when I went.
Yeah, and they just came out that fast, and like it was a show.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting because I didn't know if there was any production to it. I didn't realize that it was actually like live. maybe a day and they just put it out. No, not at all. But these crazy people though, like they're screaming. You remember the video you sent of that crazy guy who's acting like somebody shot his dog because his favorite wrestler lost?
Yeah.
Like it's staged. I mean, it's
Allegedly.
like everybody knows who's going to win 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like it's just because
Yeah.
they're creating a storyline.
Yep.
People know, the people.
And that, so to get back on like the quote unquote super fans, that's the part that actually like blows my mind when people overreact like that, because I consider myself like a quote unquote super fan. I don't watch every week, so maybe not, but I've watched all the documentaries of the behind the scenes and what really happens and stuff like that. And so you would think that they would too. And that's why I don't watch it every week, because I'm not as emotionally invested as I was when I was 12 years old.
Here's why I don't think that he watched this behind the scenes, because he was the dad. The dad was in this scenario. The dad was probably 55 years old, and his wife roughly the same. And then I'm going to assume that was his child. They look the same, so I've assumed it was his daughter, and then probably her husband and her kid. So that was the dynamic, and they're screaming at the thing. But here's why I don't think he watches behind the scenes, because I don't think he's like real aware.
Yeah.
Yeah, because every time he stood up, his pants, and it's just me and my daughter, his pants were halfway down his butt, so you could see 8 inches of butt crack. And here's the part that's going to be gross, to be honest. But it was a life I was living. So if it sounds gross, I was there. So I don't care what your feelings are, whoever's judging on this one. Every time he would stand up, I also smelled butt.
Oh my God.
That is a fact. That's absolute fact. Every time he stood up, I could see his whole crack, and I'm like, golly, man, like,
how do you not feel a breeze?
I don't know. And it smelled terrible. I don't know. He was like, he was half mooning it out.
Yeah.
He's like, man, I'm just trying to air it out. It's what I do. It's what I do. And, but every time he would stand up, Bella would look at me real fast. Like, yeah, but and he stood up a lot because he was mad, and I'm like, yeah, Bella, it's
like it's butt crack, yes, Bella, we know.
And she has to tell me every time.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, Bella, I see. It's 2 feet in front of me. Like I see it.
You're like, Bella, not only do I see it, I smell it too.
Yeah, yes. I legitimately do. And so when he stands up, I can't see anymore. So he's right in front of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty special time. But it was cool. It was fascinating to see how it actually goes. And then it's like any other concert, any other artist or any other show where they travel to the next city the next day.
Yep.
Because I mean, the John Cena thing, that's how it ended. But right when the lights came on, thousands of workers, I felt like 100 workers came out of nowhere, and as fast as they could yank stuff down.
Yep. They start breaking down the ring, taking up the floor, taking up the mats.
Yeah. So, and I know where they were going because I looked it up. I almost went to that next show. About didn't make it to that one because of work. The next show was in Kansas City.
Oh, okay.
So when they were breaking it down, I mean, they were trying to shove it in that, because it would have been 9:00. I mean, I bet them dudes were in Kansas City at probably 1 a.m.
Yeah.
So
what surprised me when we went, and we touched on it a little bit off this house, when I watch it on TV, the ramp looks like it's like a mile long when they come out, and the ring looks massive compared to the people, the wrestlers.
Yeah.
When you go, it's just so small.
The walkway to the ring.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I think so. Also, you always watch those videos and they're running out.
Yes.
It looks like they're running 100 yards.
Yes.
It's about 10 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe 15. It's not that far.
No, not at all.
And the ring actually didn't set in the middle, like right dead center of the arena. It's set off to like kind of one side. So if you were on the bowl on the opposite end, and there also was not a big screen. They had a screen. They had a screen on top of their WWF screen. It's like that 40-inch TV.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's not a giant screen.
No.
So if you're setting up in the far balcony, it literally looks like you're watching ants, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not that bad, but it's there was not like a TV or projection screen for them to watch.
Yeah.
anyway, that's what I thought was odd, but it was a good time. I would definitely go back, but hold up, let me word this different. I would definitely go watch another WWE event, but if I go watch another one, I want to watch a real, like, not a random Monday night. Which, by the way, I guess that was kind of a cool one. It kicked off the season. That was the first one of the season.
Yep.
But I want to go watch like
a pay-per-view.
Yeah. The ones I always heard, Royal Rumble. I want to go watch that.
Yep. I've never been to one of those either, and that would be cool.
Because that's the one that, as a kid that I would watch, and any wrestler that I have actually heard of would all be there.
Yeah.
So that'd be pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. It was a good time. I go back. I would definitely not buy the same seats. I would not. I would pick my seats, not just give me an aisle and hope for the best because it was terrible. And I'll tell you. And then they shot these cannons off that they don't tell you that they're going to shoot. Well, if you're on the opposite end, it probably means nothing. The cannons were, I don't know, like five rows down, 10 rows down. So when it blows up, it was only on our side, was blowing up like, it shook you.
Yep.
And it was scary because you never knew it was coming.
When we went, it was flames. So when we went, we sat on the ramp rail basically. So, but like in the corner. Mm-hmm. And when the pyrotechnics went off, the flame, like it was hot. Like,
I mean, hot. It was hot.
Anyways, but you could feel it. Like nobody else realizes on the other side, like you're saying. Yeah. The production right there is cool.
I just want you to know that it doesn't matter where there's an individual that I'd heard this just today. I heard this thing, and I don't know how it got brought up. I don't know how it got brought up. I have no idea. But I heard a guy, older guy, probably a 65-year-old guy. I heard him say, this is a slight disclaimer. I mean, I'm just saying. He said, he told our two mutual friends that were girls, he's like, I had crabs twice.
Just out of nowhere?
I don't know. I don't know what led to it. I have no idea. I'm not sitting next to him. I'm far away. I'm being broad.
Yes,
we all know each other. But,
yes.
But I was like, I was close enough to hear it, but he wasn't talking to me. He's like, I had crabs twice. This is what he said. He said, I had crabs twice. And he looked at him. He goes, and it wasn't fun.
Just out of nowhere?
Yeah. The funny part was not that he said it. He looked at him and he goes, it wasn't fun. And then, but he said, he overemphasized wasn't, and then it made me think, wasn't's not a word.
No.
But it wasn't fun. I guarantee it. So I don't.
It doesn't sound fun.
I just laughed. I don't know. I just laughed. I don't know. He said twice. I don't. He's like, well, the first time it wasn't fun, but I was going to see if it was fun. So the second time, and it wasn't fun.
Yeah. You always got to double back to see if the crabs are going to be fun or not.
Yeah. Those are fun crabs he was looking for. Yeah, that happened today. And I was actually kind of, the reason I laughed because I was, why did he say that?
I wouldn't ever publicly share.
That's what he said. What an odd time.
Yeah, that's very
What an odd time for everybody.
Does he know your cousin?
Speaking of that, I like Joe's Crab Shack. Speaking of crab, do you like Joe's Crab Shack?
I've never had it.
Well, speaking of that, I said speaking of that about 12 times in a row.
That was a smooth transition.
Yeah.
I almost ruined it.
Yeah, speaking of Joe's Crab Shack, I'm not in Pittsburgh anymore. I used to go there every Wednesday. It's not, the place is not as fun as it was when it first came out. Do you remember when it first came out?
Pittsburgh?
No. yeah. When Pittsburgh first came out, it was so much fun.
Joe's Crab Shack?
Yeah.
I've never been.
Oh, that's right. You said that. Yeah, it used to be like an ordeal, but that was 30 years ago, I feel like, when it opened. It's not quite the same. They'd make them dance around all the time. And honestly, if I was a waiter, I would never work there because I'm not doing the dances. Yeah. I don't want to. I'm not doing Texas Roadhouse dances. Yeah. Like, it's just let me wait tables. I don't want to be a nerd, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I would go there every Wednesday. I am retired from Pittsburgh. I don't go there anymore. I go to Austin, or so they told me. So, well, they're like, "Hey, you want to go to Austin?" I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool. And turns out I'm not in the project itself is not in Austin. It's about 40 miles outside of Austin.
Oh,
so I stay on the very rim of Austin. I'm not there during the day.
Yeah.
So all the cool restaurants and
Yeah.
all that, no. But I'll tell you what I did do. There's a town pretty close to where it's at. I had been going to that town to eat lunch, 3-4 times. I saw a random TikTok video and it said, "Oh, you should go to." It said if you could eat barbecue one more time as your last meal. I think they worded it something like that. And like, where would you go? And he's like, "Well, man, there's so many good places. Lockhart has a lot of places. There's Black's Barbecue, there's Terry Black's. But he's like, but if I had to recommend or go one more time, he's like, it'd have to be where Texas barbecue started. And it was a place called Louis Mueller's Barbecue. And it was in Taylor, Texas. Did I say Franklin? It's in Taylor, Texas. And so I'm like, I go to eat in Taylor, Texas every day.
Yeah.
Never heard of the place. Like, because that's apparently they're claiming that's Texas barbecue and that's the best place. And when we walked in, that building looked like it had been there since about 1910.
well, that's how you know it's about to be amazing.
It was, and it was. It
Yeah.
was really good. Like, it was super good. The part that wasn't good, it was $71. But it was, it didn't have to be. It was my fault.
Well, I was gonna say I was shocked at first when you said that, but I know you, so
Well,
I'm sure you didn't just get one thing.
No, well, I've never been there. So I was like trying to get it all in.
Yeah.
I ordered brisket, sausage, ribs, pork, beans, the coleslaw, or not coleslaw, the potato salad.
Yeah.
And then the peach cobbler. I mean, I so when you say that, people are like, "Oh, well, that's why you're chubby." Probably. I mean,
I don't know if anybody says that, but
I just think they might, but it was good. And so now, will I go back? Yeah, 100%. It won't be $71 next time I show up.
yeah.
I mean,
you can pick what your favorite thing was and keep going.
And let's get it. Let's think about that. If you go to barbecue restaurants, do you eat the brisket?
I love brisket.
Yeah. See, I mean, I do too, and I would order it if I go to any barbecue restaurant that I've never been to. I'm going to order ribs and brisket.
I was just about to say those two things are going to dictate if I like the place's barbecue, ribs or brisket.
Yeah, which this guy I was with last week, he actually said something different. He's like, I judge barbecue restaurants. He don't talk like that.
Yeah. For the sake of the story, though.
Yeah, for the sake of the story. I judge barbecue restaurants by beans and coleslaw. No, I keep saying coleslaw. Potato salad.
What?
That's what he said. And I'm like, what? He's like, if the coleslaw, what? Is there coleslaw at barbecue restaurants sometimes?
But normally potato salad.
Yeah, not the one. It's like I want it to happen. Why don't you have potato or coleslaw? That's unbelievable. What? Oh, good Lord! Just have them both.
Yeah, just put both of them on the menu.
Yeah. Anyway, so he said that's what he judges them by, and I'm like, what do you mean? And he said that's what I judge it by. He said because if the potato salad is good, he's like, I know the barbecue's good.
What? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, okay. And when he said it in my head, I thought that's really dumb.
Yeah.
My favorite restaurant, my favorite barbecue place. I know there's Terry Black's and some famous ones all over the country. Gates and
Kansas City.
Yeah.
Incredible. Best barbecue I've ever had.
And the other one, the other famous one in Kansas City. You got to be kidding me. That one's my favorite.
The more upscaler one.
Nah, not Jack Stacks.
Oh.
By the way, good too.
Jack Stacks is what I was thinking of.
The one that's been there forever. The president's been whatever, man. We'll get back to it. It'll hit me in a second. So
Kansas City Joe's?
no. What was I rambling on about here?
Potato salad and coleslaw and beans.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so I was like, I rambled. My favorite place is JL's Barbecue. That's my favorite. And so you're like, what's the best thing there?
Oh yeah.
The sauce and the beans.
Yeah.
They didn't start serving brisket at a barbecue restaurant until last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was basically roast beef. But it was thinly sliced. And it was,
I would never go out of my way to a barbecue spot just for the beans, though. I would hope that the ribs and brisket. If I didn't like the ribs or brisket, or I didn't think it was like the best ever, I just wouldn't go to that barbecue spot when I want to barbecue.
the ribs are really good at
Okay,
Joe's.
well then.
Yeah, I mean that's what I think.
Now it's one thing if your side sucks, but the barbecue's incredible. I'd still go there because I want incredible barbecue. I just wouldn't get a side. But you want a side that complements your barbecue.
Yeah, and I know people. I mean, these people that have these restaurants, especially ones like that, one that's not mass producing. Well, they are mass producing also, but they're still doing it the right way. The place I'm talking about,
Yeah.
Louis Mueller's Barbecue. Oh, they're getting up at 3 a.m. and
Yep.
they're still they're doing it.
Yep.
When I walked in the front door of the restaurant, smoke is all over the place.
Yep.
Like because I think the smoker's inside the building.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and it's not like one on wheels. The smoker's literally in the middle of the building, like the restaurant that I can't.
I don't know which one you're talking about.
This burns me up because it's one of my favorite restaurants, and I just am drawing a blank for absolutely no reason. Best barbecue restaurants in Kansas City. And I said that live just so you can hear it, because here's how fast it's going to pull up, because it's like fame. Arthur Bryant's.
Oh.
Man. Arthur Bryant's I love. I love Arthur Bryant's. And but their appeal there, you know, you talk about beans and all those other things. They could have beans. I don't remember. I usually just get this beef plate. It's brisket and ribs, and then they throw French fries that they hand cut themselves. And the sauce is like vinegar. I don't even know how we started talking about this.
I don't know,
It's
but
great.
that's the one thing that I
great.
absolutely loved about Kansas City barbecue is their vinegary sauce.
Yeah.
It's not like tomato based like here. It's vinegar, and it's absolutely incredible.
Listen, I'm not trying to argue with you, because you'd have to know the difference, though.
Yeah.
When you say tomato-based sauce and you say like here, in South Texas, the sauce literally tastes like tomato paste, tomato juice, like Bloody Mary mix. Like it's not even, no, that's spicy, but like it's not, it's terrible. Sauce in South Texas is terrible.
Ugh, that sounds.
It's gross. It's not good. Like it's literally not good. I don't.
So do you just get like if you get rib, you just no sauce it?
Yeah.
I mean that's how. I mean, in my opinion.
Yeah, or bring your own.
In my opinion, like the best barbecue, you don't even need sauce. But
Yeah, well, and that's why I don't put sauce on it for the first bites. I
Yeah.
eat it. You know where I was going with this whole brisket thing, though?
Nope.
Because that's what I was talking about. I like brisket, and I always get it lean because I don't want a lot of fat on it, right?
I wonder when people listen to. I wonder if people listen to this, they're like, "How the heck did they start talking about brisket?" Because I have no clue how we got here.
Oh, because I was telling you what I ate, and then I was like, "Do you like brisket?" Because I was gonna make a statement.
Oh yeah,
Though
yeah.
the brisket was good, I order a half pound. Once I'm 3 in, if you get it lean, it just tastes. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Like it gets old.
Yeah.
I like to try it, even if it's really good. It got old. Burnt ends were great, by the way. I forgot. I left that off.
yeah.
I ordered those too.
Yeah.
$71 worth.
Yeah.
And that's what the guy with me said. He's like, What are you doing? I'm like, well, I don't know. You never know if I'm going to come back.
Yeah.
So I want to get it in. The cool or odd thing about this whole story is this. This is Texas Barbecue. It's existed forever. It's a third generation family who's owned it. The owner was there that day. So I'm looking in the back, and I don't know what's going on here. I'm looking in the very back of the restaurant. It's a for people's vision, it's like a rectangle restaurant.
Okay.
So the first 30% of it is tables and then the counter. The back 70s, the kitchen, the smoker, the coolers. So, and that's on one side. I guess there's two sides. I was only on that one side. So when I'm ordering, I look back there and I see, I don't know, 12 Chinese people. And so I'm thinking like, there's no way that Chinese people was making this barbecue. Have you ever been to a Chinese barbecue restaurant?
Never.
Yeah, me either. So I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, what's going on here, man? Or like, are we hoarding people in the back? I mean, my friend Cody called me the other day, a famous Indian restaurant where he lives right on the highway got busted for human trafficking.
Oh.
So that just happened last week or 2 weeks ago. He called me, he's like, bro, because I told him like Indian food. He's like, best Indian food ever is by my house. He lives in the middle of the country in nowhere. And I'm like, the best Indian food is not in the middle of the country in a small town in Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. And he's like, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, maybe it was. They were making it so good that, they're trafficking.
Yeah.
So I look back there. There's like 12 Chinese people. I'm like, why are these people back there? But you got to see what they're dressed like. They're all dressed in puffy coats, like nice clothes. They're all dressed like nice clothes, not suits or anything, but nicer clothes. So I'm just confused to no end. Like, what? I mean, is it a field trip from China? I don't know what's going on. And then a lady walks up front, and I guess I glanced down because she was just by the counter when I looked up, and she had this almost like a TV screen on a chain on her, right here in the middle of her body. And so I'm like, oh. So when I got to the cashier, I'm like, are they shooting a movie about this place or a documentary? He's like, yep, they've been here all week.
Oh.
So it just must have been break time because the rest of the meal, the guys were like doing a bunch of camera shots. And the owner was there, but the owner didn't show up just for the camera. He showed up because the guy told me. He was like, we had a lot of custom orders. That's why he's here. So they have giant lights and everything strung all over the building. So that was kind of cool.
That is cool.
And then they were getting action shots of me eating. But the problem is I had already, when they started filming me, I had already eaten everything that I ordered. I just had one tiny, it was like I was a sad customer. I was in there with one tiny bowl of peach cobbler. Like there's nothing else on the table. It's just like I showed up to eat peach cobbler.
Yeah.
Like the barbecue sucks here.
Yeah.
The peach cobbler's awesome.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like.
That's what you judge your barbecue places by, is their peach cobbler.
And I was debating if I was coming back at that point. So, and the peach cobbler, it was okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you live around here and you go to Charlie's Chicken and you eat that peach cobbler, like I like that kind of crust. Like I like that because it's in it's in the peach juice or whatever it is, and just the way the texture. Like when I eat it, I like that. No, theirs was like their peach cobbler. The breading part was like a muffin almost, like cornbread consistency. It didn't taste like cornbread, but like that. I don't really like that.
Yeah.
I like the syrupy, like the, you know what I'm talking about?
Yep. One's kind of like, just because I bake, but one's more like a pie crust based cobbler. Another one's like a oat. I don't know the exact recipe because I don't make that kind because I don't like that kind either. But yeah, there's a massive difference.
Remember you made me German chocolate cake for my wife's birthday?
Yeah, she loved it.
I loved it too. That was awesome. I think we've said that before, huh?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
So this year, a month ago, have we done one since then? Surely. I made you a red velvet.
It was October 2nd.
Well,
that was the last
yeah.
date.
Well, this year I only did red velvet. I didn't make German chocolate.
Yeah. Well, when the studio floods, it's like,
yeah.
And what was weird about it flooding, I thought it caught on fire for a second.
I know.
From the surge, but now it was just flooded.
Yeah, hurricane type winds, flood.
Yeah. Anyway, how did it become a food show all of a sudden?
I don't know. We're foodies.
No, because remember, I don't
succulent.
Oh, gosh. I hate food shows with it. See we just had an entire conversation about food, and I told you all the stuff that I thought was good, and I didn't use any pervert words.
Yeah,
so
but
I don't.
As you were saying it in my head, you're talking about like ribs. I was like, were they juicy? But I just didn't want to ask you.
I just can't. I can't do like the descriptive shows. I can't. I'll turn it. It's just this quiche is. It's light and fluffy and moist, and it's succulent. It's just so succulent.
Yeah.
I can't watch cooking shows. I don't even watch TV.
Yeah, I don't either. Other than like sports, but I don't watch those anymore either. It's not funny.
You've retired from sports?
Yes, I have. It's not freaking funny.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
You called me yesterday. So we haven't even talked about this privately. Lloyd calls me every single freaking Saturday when my team is playing, and I am not going to answer the dadgum phone.
First of all, I didn't call him during the game, so
Immediately after he already sent a really stupid text.
I didn't send a stupid.
Yeah, you did.
What did it?
Oh, look at your stupid phone.
What did it say?
Oh, go Pokes.
I didn't say go
There's something
Pokes.
really, really. I can't say the words that I want to say,
I
but
sent
it
a
was
picture
like,
of a cowboy waving
it was
a flag.
like borderline. Like I didn't know which team he batted for. That's
cowboy was-
that's the text he sent. I
a
was
cowboy
like,
was waving the flag.
yeah. Well, that's pretty stupid.
So anyway, he didn't answer. But yeah, I guess I wouldn't watch sports either.
So yeah, I don't watch sports anymore. So I was gonna say I don't watch TV either, but sports. But now I don't watch those anymore either. So.
Well, it's just because people are led to believe that, that team's not as good as anybody acts like they were, and you shouldn't get your hopes up. I'm a TU fan. When we beat Rice, we're like, oh, we're back.
Yeah, it's different though. Different levels.
Speaking, I do this picks every week. Speaking of sporting.
Which you still haven't consulted me
Thanks.
for, and I could probably win you a lot of money.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, this week in the picks, if I'm like, okay, whatever, Army Air Force. If I'm like, oh, Army Air Force, yep, Air Force got that one. Whoever else played, I don't remember. Got that. OSU, OU. Oh, yeah, I got that one. Actually, I won that one. But pretty much if I had just switched every pick that I picked, I would be killing people. I've done this pick 'em thing with my brother-in-law for 10 years. This is the singular worst week I have ever had in picks. I think I won 3 college football games out of 20 something. 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Because you don't pick who wins. You pick against the spread.
Yep.
If I just picked the opposite,
Yeah.
I would win. But that's my fault. That's just pure stupidity.
Just like your text.
No, my text was fine. And there was a lot of other people that loved it.
No, nobody else did. I think your wife is the only other person that commented. And that one was stupid too.
Yeah. I'll tell you what's dumb. Leighton won't answer the phone after his team loses. They're not going to the championship.
Oh, when the Bills get destroyed because they look freaking terrible, I don't call you and say something.
Which, by the way, at the time of this podcast, the game is in 28 minutes.
Well, I hope they win. I'll be a good friend, unlike you, and I hope that they win.
You hope they win because you're a fan. What's the? Oh, let me see.
I'm not. Fly Eagles fly.
That's a lie. It's 50. It's 52. Whatever. It starts at 7:20.
Yeah.
So 48 minutes.
But Lloyd's a bad friend for everybody that listens, and he wants his friends' sports teams to lose so he can rub it in their face.
That's actually weird. Speaking of my local hometown team, I don't know what I don't even know if we brought it up. They started off 0-3.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
Yeah, they were never terrible.
You said that the games that they did lose, I mean, they were somewhat manageable losses, right?
Yeah, they very well could have won 2 of the first 3 that they lost.
Mm-hmm.
They very well could have won 2 of them. One team they literally had 0 answer for. And then they lost in district. They've lost 2 times in districts. One of them, 4 plays in a row got stopped on the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
4 plays. Four plays on the
tough.
1 yard line and didn't get in. And that last one, time expired. That was it. That last stop, no time. It was over.
Yeah, that's tough.
So, and they lost by...
I think you said 3 points.
3. Yeah, lost by 3. And so anyway, they just were inexperienced because you had all these people who graduated last year. So nobody really, outside of maybe like 3 or 4 of them, had any game experience whatsoever. So you got freshmen coming up. They have a few freshmen that play, and they're new to high school. They're freshmen.
Yep.
It's just it took some time for them to come together. So now in district play, I think they're 5-2. Does that make sense? Yeah, because they ended up 5-2. Should have probably could have been 6-1, and they made it. They made the playoffs.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But it's awesome or weird about that. If you look at their district play record, you're like, yeah, they're a pretty good team. You look at their overall because they lost the first 3, they're 5-5.
Yeah.
So it looks like they're terrible, but they're not terrible.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it's not going to shock me when they win on Friday.
Yeah.
So, which would be pretty cool. That's a local knowledge there for anybody who does. Michael Trupia, by the way, I'm going to call him out by name. He commented, he texted me. This is last week. I mean, he doesn't know. He's an insurance agent, but he's not our insurance agent. For the studio that flooded for the second time.
Hurricane type winds.
Yeah, he's probably thankful that he's not, because that goes against his lost runs report.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see what Troopy had to say. What did he say last week? One bullet to the head is better than 7 to the chest. I just needed to know. So tomorrow when I get in the car ready for my Monday drive, to utter disappointment of not seeing a new podcast, does not have to be. Seeing a new podcast does not have to set in. Set it in. I didn't read that very good, but
No, you didn't.
That's roughly what he said. And then he said, I haven't felt this way since the MLB player strike of 1994.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's serious.
Wow.
And he is a hardcore sports fan. He's from New York, hardcore Yankees fan, though they're terrible. And this is utter disappointment. And then somebody else commented, Sarah commented and said, Sarah, right? And she said, do I have to, well, I mean, it sounds weird. Do I have to shower without Lloyd again? Because on Monday mornings, that's, she gets in the shower and she listens to the podcast in the shower. So that's, Well,
it looks like you're showering tomorrow.
Hey, and good news for everybody. We're good news because we are, what do we put up? We fixed the flood.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, we got all the water out.
Yeah, the water. Have we had this talk?
Nope.
People say that in Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah.
Water.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, what is water? That not everybody says it, but a lot of people say it in Pittsburgh. Like, water. Hey, you getting water? No, you go to the store and get water. I don't know what that is. Why do they say that?
I don't know. That's gross.
There's just some things I don't understand why people say, because people will act like this happens all the time. I travel all the time, so they're like, "Where you from? Texas?" Like I can hear it in your accent.
Yep.
You're from Texas.
Yep.
I'm like, no, I'm not. Where are you from? What is water? Water. It doesn't matter if you have an accent. You can say water. There's no you. Water.
I think some people's accent, they literally can't say water.
I think they can.
Okay.
My wife's, and they listen. So my wife's mom says, "Washer."
Oh, my whole family growing up.
Put your stuff in the washer.
Yes, that's what they say is washer.
Wash your hands.
Or wash your plate. Wash your plate off. I can't. Or my grandma, rest her soul, she used to say white. White.
Well, I guess we could hop off here and let the people wait till next week. Huh?
Yeah, we talked a lot of good stuff today.
They're gonna be pumped up.
Oh, they're gonna be like, oh, this is what I was missing.
Well, yeah, we would like to. We would love to say thank you to the existing 8 fans that are listening. When you do 2 shows in 2 months,
there's a little bit of a drop off.
Yeah, a little bit of drop off in the numbers.
Yeah,
we can see those numbers.
Oh yeah.
And they've nosedived, but we're back.
Oh, we're back, and we don't do it for the numbers. We do it because we love our fan base.
Oh yeah, because you're so hot. Yeah, real.
Yeah, this is when we start going off the rails.
All right, well, love everybody. Put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame and water.
LeBron James is going to be the MVP of the league this year.
Unbelievable. All right, love everybody. Talk to you later.